Hello there everybody, it is Tegan here again today, and for this video I am going to be reviewing the Allegiant movie, which I know this is really late for some of you guys, but the movie actually only came out 3 days ago for me, and so I went and saw it yesterday with my friend Chris, and okay, I'm going to try really hard not to compare it to the book because it didn't match the book at all. Like, just how it was, it didn't match the book at all. And it does suck because Divergent is, after Harry Potter, it's probably my favorite series, and so it's just really sucky that the movies have turned out like this, and yeah, so it does suck, but I am going to be reviewing the movie for you guys today, and I am very excited. This year is actually the first year that I did not go to the premiere, because for both Divergent and for Insurgent, I won a competition to go to the premiere. For Divergent, I went to the premiere in Sydney, and that was fun. It was really cool. We got to see the movie a couple days early, and yeah, that was really fun. And then for Insurgent, I won a trip to New York to go to the American premiere, and that was really super fun, and I got to go back to America, and it was really fun, and I got to meet a bunch of the actors there and all that stuff. But yeah, it was weird because I actually had to find somebody to go with this year because the last 2 years I've gone with my mom to the premieres, and so I actually had to find somebody to go with. And like, I have friends. I'm not saying I don't have friends, but most of my friends were either already going to see it or they just didn't care about seeing it, and Chris wanted to go with me. So thank you, Chris, for going to see this movie with me. But yeah, I'm going to be reviewing this movie. I'm going to try not to compare it to the book too much, but if I do, then that's that, because it is an adaptation, and so I want to compare them some. So I'm going to be jumping right into the spoilery parts of this video. So if you haven't actually seen the movie, then I would leave now, because I don't want to spoil you guys on anything. So bye-bye. I'm starting now. So basically, the movie starts with everybody from inside the wall trying to get outside the wall. And they're about to go through an opening when they close off the gates. And they're like, sorry, no, you're not leaving. It's too dangerous out there. We don't know what's outside the wall, so you're not going. And yeah, so I was not sure what was going to happen if they just let everybody outside the wall, because obviously, like, that's half the book gone. Because half the book half the actual book is them inside the wall, like, trying to figure stuff out. And so yeah, I wasn't exactly sure what would happen if they just let them all out, so I was glad that they did that aspect of it. And then we go back inside and they're holding trials. So Candor is holding trials, like truth trials, against people that worked with Janine. So Max is up first with his trial, and so they put the truth serum into him, and they're like, oh, like, did you like working with Janine, blah, 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 and he says that he did. And so they're like, everybody around them starts screaming, kill him, kill him, kill him, and everybody's there like, and then they end up deciding to kill him, and so they go up to the back of his head with a gun, and Max goes, I don't want to die, and they shoot his brains out. Okay, yeah, okay. And there's all these riots happening, and Caleb sees Triss, and he's like, Triss, don't let them kill me, I don't want to die. Triss, don't let them kill me. And she's like, and then she walks away. So basically what then happens is Amity and the rest of them, they end up, like, splitting off into different groups. So Amity goes one way, and they call themselves the Allegiant, which I haven't read the book for at least a year now, but isn't the, like, group that goes outside the wall meant to be called the Allegiant? So, like, Uriah, Triss, Four, and all of them, aren't they meant to be called the Allegiant? I don't know. But Amity calls themselves the Allegiant, or the people that go with the Amity group with Joanna calls himself the Allegiant. And the people with Evelyn stay. So it's Joanna's group and Evelyn's group. And, yeah. Okay. And then Tris end up getting together, and they're like, okay, we have to get out of here. Like, I'm not going over the entire movie. I'm sort of just going over the main plot points. So Tris and all of them are like, yeah, okay, we have to get out of here. And so Four ends up pulling out Caleb out of the prison cells that he was in or whatever. And so Four pulls out Caleb, and everybody's like, oh, you're not allowed to take a prisoner. And Four's like, well, watch me, I can deal with this one myself. And then Four shoots over where Caleb is, but he obviously doesn't actually shoot Caleb. And then they end up getting into a car, and they're driving off. They get to the gates, and Peter shows up, and he's like, where are you going? You're not leaving me behind. Yeah, no, that's not happening. I think, honestly, Peter's the only, like, person that, like, I actually really enjoy in these movies. Like, I love Peter. I love Miles Teller. He's so amazing, and he portrays Peter so well. Like, Peter's most definitely the best part of these movies. 150,000% the best part of these movies. I just really like Peter. And Peter goes, okay, you're either gonna let me in the car, and then he starts screaming out, like, oh, trespassers, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, fine, get in the car. And so Peter gets into the car, and they're, like, driving off, and then they need notes to get us outside the gate. And Christina ends up showing up with the notes, and so they let them pass. Edgar ends up showing up, and he's like, no, you're not getting outside the wall. Yeah, that's not happening. And then they end up driving off. And they get to the part where they, like, have to climb up the wall. And so they start climbing up, and then it's the electromagnetic stuff, so they can't actually get through. So Tris runs back, she blows up the electric thing, and they get past the wall. I hate what's past the wall. Correct me if I'm wrong, but past the wall is meant to be a deserted wasteland. It's meant to be a abandoned airport. It's not meant to be Mars. Honestly, like, I was sitting there with Chris, and I was just like to her, I was like, what are they doing? Like, honestly, it looks like they're on Mars. And then it started raining, like, blood or red water, and I'm just sitting there like, what are they doing with this movie? And then, like, these big flying things show up out of nowhere in, like, a hole in the universe, and, like, these big flying things come out of them, and I'm like, what? What is going on? And then they end up, like, putting these bubbles around, like, Tris and Four and Christina and all of them. I was sitting with Chris, and we were both just laughing so much because we were like, what? Why are they putting them in these big bubbles? Like, it was meant to be for contamination purposes, but they just put them in big bubbles. And then they take them to the O'Hare Airport, which they do mention that it's the O'Hare Airport, but it does not look abandoned. I know that there's one part later on in the movie where you can see, like, the old, like, airport signs, but it doesn't look run down at all from the outside. And then they go into this room, and they're told to, like, put their clothes into the incinerator. They get, like, they're meant to be getting cleaned, but, like, you're watching Tris, and she gets, like, this black gunk all over her, and it's, like, sucking her up, and I turned to Chris, and I was like to her, I was like, what? And we both just burst out laughing. Luckily, there was barely anybody in the theater that we were in, and luckily there wasn't barely anybody in there, or else they would have been very annoyed. There was nobody around us because we were just laughing the entire time. She hasn't read the book, but she knows like some of the stuff from the book because I've told her that, and stuff like that. And, like, I have read the books. They're, like, some of my favorite books. So, obviously, I know what happens in them. And I was just sitting there, like, what are they doing? So, they end up going into another room. And everyone's there, and they realize that they all have different tattoos because they got a different tattoo. And they're like, why are all the tattoos different? And then it cuts to another scene, and Matthew is there. And Matthew is calling Tris up to go and speak to David. And if you have read the book, then you would know what happens with David. And you would know that, like, that. And so I sat there and I was like, oh God, no, David, go away. Just go away. Don't be here. Just go away. And yeah, so that was me throughout that part. And David's like to Tris, oh, yeah, blah, 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 you're pure, everybody else is damaged, which... Okay, I'm not going to go into that because that'll just get me very annoyed. At first, they make David out to be a good guy, okay? He's good, everything is fine. He's telling Tris about her mom and all of that stuff, and how her mom was actually born there, and, like, how they sent her out into the experiment and stuff. Yep, okay, they're telling her about that. And he's made out to be a good guy. And then, throughout the movie, he just gets worse and worse until he's made out to be the bad guy. And I'm just sitting there like, sorry, I'm comparing it to the book again. Actually find out that he's a bad guy until he's in the room with Tris. Like, that doesn't happen until then. And I'm just like, I know it's meant to be for cinematic, like, oh, was good, but now he's bad, and he's just getting more and more bad, and he's not a good person, blah, blah, blah. But, like, they just made him, like, they hinted at that he wasn't good, and I didn't like that. So they get assigned jobs. Caleb and Peter get assigned into, like, looking after stuff back in Chicago. And Peter's like, I'm not doing surveillance. What do you think I am? Like, couldn't I want to be out with the action, blah, 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 blah. And throughout the movie, he's just trying to get a better job, trying to do all this stuff. I'm sort of just going to skip to the end of the movie because I don't want this video to be 1,000,000 minutes long. But I honestly don't know what they're going to be putting into the second part of this movie, into Ascendance. I don't know what's going into that part because everything happened in this first part. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be wrong, but isn't the entire, like, battle at the end, isn't the entire reason that Tris goes into the room where stuff happens because she's trying to stop the memory serum from being released into Chicago for everybody to, like, not die? Isn't that why she goes into the room with David? Isn't that why she gave everything up for Caleb? Isn't that why all of this stuff happened? Like, she's... Big spoiler up ahead if you have not read the book and you've only seen the movie, but wasn't the memory... Like, she died for the memory serum. She went into the room to try and stop the memory serum because she was the only person that could get past the death serum. And so she made it past the death serum, and then David shot her as she was trying to turn off the memory serum. If I am wrong, correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's how it happens. And I'm just sitting there like, they let the memory serum off in Chicago. Like, that's all already happened. David's already a bad guy. Tris isn't dead. What is there to come? Like, what are they going to put into the second part of the movie? Honestly, if I didn't know that there was going to be a second part, I wouldn't think that there was going to be a second part because they ended it. Like, my friend, Haley, she's been on my channel before. You guys would know her if you watched my channel before. She went and saw the movie today, and I was just messaging with her, and I was like, so how'd you like it, blah, blah, blah. And I told her that I wasn't a big fan of the adaptation. And she's like, I didn't mind it. And I was like, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be putting into the second part. And she's like, there's going to be a second part? And I was like, yeah, because she didn't think that there was going to be a second part. If you didn't know that there was going to be a second part, then how, like, it didn't end on a cliffhanger. It didn't end in a way that will make people want to go back and watch it. It ended, and it just ended. Like, I'm pretty sure they're still planning on making it into 2 parts. And I don't know what they're going to put into the second part of this movie, because everything's already happened. I don't know. So, that was my review of Allegiant. Out of 10 stars, I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10, just because Peter just made it 100% better, because every single time he opens his mouth, it's just pure gold, and I love Peter, and I love Miles Teller, and so he brought the score up. But yeah, and in terms of an adaptation, it sucked. Like, I was talking to my friends, and I'm like, literally the only thing that they've kept the same is the names and the basic plot line of the memory serum. That's honestly the only thing that they've kept the same. Everything out, they've taken out, they've changed completely. And so adaptation-wise, it was horrible. See, and it makes me upset because Hunger Games was coming out at about the same time as this. It started a year earlier, but it was about the same time. And Hunger Games went in such a good direction. The movies were fantastic. I love the Hunger Games movies. They're great adaptations. They're amazing. Whereas Divergent did not. The first Divergent movie was good. I liked the first Divergent movie. The Insurgent was okay. I didn't mind it. It just wasn't my favorite. Allegiant, it's gone completely off the track. And I know people are going to be saying, oh, it's not all about the book, like they're allowed to change it. And yeah, that's fine, but don't say it's based off of the book if literally one of the only things that's the same is the characters. So yeah, that was my review of Allegiant. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you have seen Allegiant and what you guys thought about it, and if you had the same reaction as I did. If you've read the book, what did you think of it compared to the book? Blah 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 blah. And yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely enjoyed making it. I will leave all of my social media links down below as usual. You can give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and you can subscribe down below if you want to be told when I make a new video. And yeah, that's about it. I'm Tegan, this is Bookwormia, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! Hello there everybody, it is Tegan here again today, and again I have with me Haley, and we are going to be filming a video that Haley has no idea what